It's just sauntering over to the big man, Patrick Cripps, in the middle of the ground. He's going to need some help too, I'd
say. So ball in the middle, bright sunshine, MCG, home of footy. And Cruiser and Marshall to go out. Cruiser just rips it out of the air, kick smothered and rough. Marshall, strangely enough, ends up with the clearance. Bounces it to Loney. He looks up, pokes it inside 50, and that is a perfect start. He hits Membry, lace out.
Well, Patricia Seaton was half back. He sort of took a step forward when Cruiser won that ball. The smother put him offline of where Loney was. The quick kick went to the advantage of Loney.
But you also see that when Patricia Seaton was chasing, just the left-footed running away from him, threw him out for one step.
He thought he was going to maybe come back on the inside.
Yeah.
Most accurate kick in the comp for any player with more than 50 shots this year. He's kicked 40 goals, 14. Tim Membry.
Got close to the man on the mark.
Yeah, 40-15.
One thing that Lockie Plowman's going to have to watch, if Membry starts in the goal square or has him inside 25, Lockie, who likes to play back shoulder, is conceding the lead up. Membry loves to lead up.
Daisy Thomas in what might be his second last game for the Blues, but the last home game for the Blues. Home game for the Blues this afternoon, and they play the Cats at GMHBA in their final game next week. Silvani, beautiful blind turn. Big round of applause. Blues fans have really turned out for this as well. And Murphy finds McGovern. Good movement. Kennedy's in the goal square. He leads. It's ignored.
Oh, that's, you got to honour that one.
Yeah, he had plenty of space, didn't he? Cruiser, goal square. One grab, not the Clark. Wilkie goes back to Battle, the hero last week. Gave it off to Billings. Bangs it out wide. Fist comes, knocks it down. Newman. McGovern. And Kennedy. Well, he was on at that time and played a good game last week in the VFL to get back into the team. Matthew Kennedy, 28 possessions and 7 clearances last week, and he'll line up to do exactly what Membry couldn't do at the other end.
I thought they discarded him a little quickly. He's been a midfielder for all his senior career. He played junior football as a key forward, and I thought he was pretty good, kicking 3 goals full forward about a month ago, but they discarded him a little quickly.
And he slots it on cue.
Well, a couple of repeat entries just built a little bit of pressure on the St Kilda defence. It was a good kick in to Kennedy. And you're right, Dermy. He's got that natural ability inside the forward 50, does Kennedy. He does move quite well and come at the kicker. He found some space here and was hit up quite well with a nice jump at the ball. But more importantly, went back and nailed his first opportunity in this game of footy.
It was a good hit,
wasn't it, on the left?
Lovely hit there by Mitch McGovern. Just a dab kick. Yeah, so if a bloke hasn't played all that much forward footy, as a stay-home forward, with his back to the goals, looking at the incoming ball, you've got to let him reacclimatise to it. So I thought after the 3 goals, then one bad-ish game, and then
look at his improvement under Teague, plus 129%. Kennedy.
He can
play.
play.
They're amazing stats. Well, he was originally Kennedy a pick 13 in the draft, so
right.
He's a first-round pick.
He's a ball winner.
Cruiser blasts it long. Top of the 50. Cripps played for the free. He wasn't jumped on, so the umpire was wise to that.
Same scenario just here at the moment. Carlton defence, we spoke about them pushing up and squeezing the ground, and David Teague said they don't want to let it out. That's a big part of their game.
200 game. Hawk sharpshooter Ben Dixon downstairs for us this afternoon with Dermot Burton and Brad Johnson upstairs holding the ball. Free kick to the Saints.
So what happens now is you've got the Carlton players turning around and chasing away their opponent away from the footy if they're not accustomed to that squeeze-up style.
Loney the target. Patricia Seaton got up, got the fist on it, and got it out of play. Gets a little low five from Daisy Thomas, who, even though it's his second last game, is still
massive,
feeling sprightly as if he could play again next year. Still hoping to maybe get picked up somewhere else. Curnow bangs it along the line. Carlisle manhandles slightly. Brown back into the Saints lineup this week. Gets it to Steele. They tightrope the boundary. Bruce inside 50. Casbolt pushed back to man him. Does well. He was rock solid there, Levi. Used his body to perfection. Simpson, who will play next year, to Murphy. Newman. Fisher. Good collect on the bounce. It was a tough ball to pick up and go with. And McGovern's got some space. A mongrel. Carlisle. Plenty of Blues fans in. You could hear the excitement when he got it, and then when he turned it over. Ross goes across one side of the ground to the other to Billings. He heads out wide. Loney.
Tim Membry's got a really good matchup here.
And he launches Membry. Fisted away last second. Boundary line. Hits the post. Good shot in the end from Hind, but he couldn't quite make the most of it.
That's the opportunity Saints will find. They play fast. Carlton, we know they want to do that, and they keep themselves nice and straight. So the open side's always going to be there. So expect Saints Kilda to switch that and go back twice as fast.
Especially if they can get the turnover before centre half forward from a Carlton point of view.
O'Brien heads out wide. Silvani let Cripps go at it, and Cripps gets his own crumb and gives it to him. The old 1-2-3. Nice work. Spear pass by Gibbons to Dow. Back into the lineup as well this week after a couple of AFL games. And a good grab by Brown.
Brown settled nicely, but you have a look down there. Jake Carlisle's just finding his space, still learning where the ball's going to drop for his best positioning so far.
Loney kept it alive. Membry went back and got it, gave it to Plowman. Almost a setup. Plowman tackled behind.
They're going to get some good matchups in the forward line, the Saints, given that Daisy Thomas is going to have to play third tall.
Hanbury, who was a star last week, wrapped up here, well, he got it out in the end, but it's back into the congestion. Just his 4th game for the club, Dan Hanbury. 23 possessions and 2 goals last week for the Saints. Cruiser got it out to Dow. Bends it around, couldn't quite get it to Mackay. Gives away a free kick for a little nudge. Brown's ball.
Such a strong body player, Brown, so Harry Mackay can find out if he's on the goal side and protecting the drop of the ball. It's a great body position, as you can see there, so there's the free kick.
Yeah, just a pro, isn't he?
Oh, he's a great defender.
And a scramble. Ross and Gibbons dance and don't keep it alive. Not met these two here at the MCG for 3 years. So don't usually play here. It's a rare occasion against each other at the home of footy. Hacked inside 50 to Mackay. Sky high Mackay. He got some rise on it.
Got the drop on Brown there. Brown was just a half step late to react to that drop of that foot, and Mackay read it beautifully.
While he's positioned himself in that contest, Mackay, between Brown and Carlisle, so that's how he was able to get the jump on Brown.
Saints 2 behinds. And the Blues get their first behind just over the line as Silvani raked it in, and Jake Carlisle claiming that he wasn't given the ball back correctly.
Yeah, he wasn't. The umpire decided that'll do.
Yeah.
He's improved out of sight, Hunter Clark, over the last few months.
Hanbury, Hunter Clark.
They're out there.
Hunter Clark, also an early draft pick, pick 7 back in 2017. So high expectations he'll continue to grow, and Marshall has continued to grow this year. Had an outstanding season. And he's mobile. Takes off and launches it. Curnow jumps on, was jumped on. Same with Petrevski-Seaton, back to Curnow. Outside of the boot to Simpson. He's knocked it toward the boundary and his own advantage. So he had a couple of options there. Went with the 1-2 for Fisher. Spears it towards the wing. Cruises down there. Marshall bumps him under it. Kennedy read it nicely. Flicks it back to Walsh. He pokes it to DeLuca. Got him.
What a kick.
It's a good run from DeLuca as well.
Takes off. Sees Silvani one-on-one. He's got the box seat. Carlisle had the reach. And Silvani, with a little nudge to the back, takes it over.
Yeah, he did the right thing, Silvani. He just got a fair bit of humanity to contend with when Jake Carlisle's in front. It's a huge man, over 200 centimetres.
This is his 9th game this season for Jake Carlisle. Was a star this week, last week, as well as Cripps hacks that across the face. Gave everyone a scare.
Matty Cruiser already 3 clearances in this game, either grabbing it out or pushing himself through the contest after the tap to clear the ball for the Blues.
I think I'm very happy with Carlton if I'm looking from their perspective. The Saints' small forwards aren't holding the ball in. It's going in and coming out pretty quickly.
And they've got Jack Stephen now, who's the deepest forward at this stage.
Yeah, so he started on the bench last week, Dicko. They're managing his minutes because he hasn't had a big preparation this season. It's his 6th game for the year. Jack Stephen, we know his story, had some health leave and has worked his way back in. Fisher gets it on the boot, top of the square. Mackay says it's thumped away, good reach. Kennedy, slick hand, Silvani! He nails it, the Blues have 2. They're going to check it though.
Just check to see when the ball hit the goal post. Score review. Umpires called it a goal. We please make sure it didn't hit the post.
Review underway.
So you at home are seeing the pictures we're seeing here. So you've got the best seat in the house to make as good a decision as we can make.
Let's go.
That's a goal.
Yep.
And it was sharp too.
Good sharp hand, wasn't it? Yeah, lovely.
Once the ball hit the deck.
So the goal stands and the Blues have got a couple. Started brilliantly. Silvani's great season continues.
Isn't it great to see the Blues fans back at the footy?
Oh, yeah.
Look at that bay behind the goals there.
They're getting some confidence back there. A little bit of confidence back.
Already.
Some
Look at the
swagger.
Let's look at the quick hands here.
But it started a stoppage again where Cruiser got it out to Fisher on the fly, nice and wide, left foot, and that's what
Kennedy's
helped
hands
set us up.
And Kennedy's hands there, very good. So that's a midfielder's hands. You know, getting tackled, you're in the centre circle, there's 7 other opponents around you. You've got to find a way to fabricate a handball over your shoulder into a gully that a teammate runs onto.
Yeah, in the overall football jungle, you need a cocky Carlton to be part of it. It just adds that little.
You reckon that's that's the natural order?
It's a better jungle that way, and it's great to see it. Hanbury bangs it to half forward. Stephen back on, caught, plenty of time. Umpire gave him an eternity to get a kick away. Loney to Hanbury. Akers can't collect it. Murphy does collect it. Tried to shrug, steal. The blue and Steele.
He was strong, wasn't he? He stood up while Seb Ross went right over the top of him.
Out wide.
That's kick working for them at the moment. They're ignoring the first lead up, and the Carlton players floating back for a 40-metre pass into space.
Yeah, they've been hugging the boundary on that outlet kick.
Gibbons long, Carlisle had a huge lead. McGovern into the clouds. How big a grab was that?
Super grab. That's exactly what Adelaide need at the moment. Sorry to rub salt into the wound.
And that's what he can show. His athleticism and power is enormous. So I mentioned that in the pre-game.
Let's have a look in the box. Oh, nice touch.
Down the line, towards the wing. Hits the deck. Thomas wanted the 1-2, but the boundary line beat them both. Gives everybody a chance to have a look at another replay at some stage here at the G. Took everyone's breath away, that lead. Mitch McGovern kicked 2 goals last week in his first senior game back after a month out.
So we've got the shuffle on now. Will Satterfield has to go to full back to play against Jack Stephen.
Sinclair, Hunter Clark, Loney can go if it sits for him. Good collect. Jack Stephen motors, tries to get some space. Setterfield, he was wearing him like a glove, and he wore him to the point that he just had to flick it away, get his own crumb, but he kicks it straight to Brown.
After you get past 25 minutes of metres, it looked like Jack Stephen was decelerating. Quick off the mark, and we knew he was always been very quick, but just flagged a little bit. The fitness stakes coming into account.
Brown, nice little push off on McGovern, gets away with it, and he's turned it over. Casbolt. Newman. Plowman.
They'll look to hold them up here. You don't want any fast play out of this, so defence is on here for the Saints.
I wonder if they'll go right to the boundary again. Look, he's signalling. Yeah, they want to go wide to the boundary. They've done their homework.
Lang, who was an emergency but came in to replace Wiedering, who didn't come up, had a groin issue. It's down the line. Wilkie got up. Silvani's free for a push. He sets it up, maybe for another McGovern. Levi is pushed in the back, or was he had his heels clipped perhaps? Umpire said it was accidental. Loney out wide. Simpson, Stephen, Simpson. What about the shake off there? He shook him out of his boots. And Stephen didn't chase, did not have anything left in the tank. Lang, handball smothered. Back to the wing. Stephen might have the last laugh here. Hind looks up, he bounces away from him. Backs himself in, another bounce, runs to 30 and kicks an absolute ripper.
Raw pace is a weapon, Jono. It's an absolute weapon. This boy's been on rookie lists, he's been at other clubs, he gets his chance at St Kilda, and he took that ball as close to centre wing as you can see.
The finish point wasn't the best kick we've ever seen do, but that doesn't matter. The points count, and you see the runaway there. Even Jack Stephen caught way back. You mentioned he's just a bit spent at the moment. Needs to get that second wind into the lungs, but it doesn't matter from a St Kilda point of view. It's a great run, great finish.
You saw Jack Stephen go, well, ole.
Normally that's
through you go.
Normally it's his eyes light up there.
Yeah.
Jack Stephen, he's gone.
He was the Matador Stevens with the red rug.
Yeah, he gave it the ole. You can go right through.
It's from the same local club as the Geelong Flyer, Bobby Davis as well from Clunes. They must bring him quick down there. The great Bobby Davis. Sinclair tried to get away. Cripps' ball, he was held. Onto his left, straight down the middle. Kennedy can't mark it. Patton caught, just got a handball away in time. Battle. Bruce. Tucked away by Gibbons, and he's had a pretty good season as well. Michael Gibbons, every game as a mature age top-up player. Look at that crowd. They have come back to support their Blues.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Can't believe I'm showing Blee at Carlton.
We're all enjoying it, and in the sunshine as well. Here's Gibbons, who I spoke about having a great year for a top-up player who wasn't really expected to do much other than add depth. Kennedy gives it to Gibbons. His drop step was good. His kick to the top of the square, sort of missed the target. Dumped out of play.
Gibbons is an interesting one, though, Dwayne. You say the top-up players sort of add depth, but you can see from the first time we saw him, he had a couple of tricks.
Yeah.
He had a bit of knowledge about game craft.
Yeah, and experience, I suppose, gives you that. Simpson, speaking of experience, he dances inside, got away from the quick hind, got it on his left. Oh, was it touched on the line? That would have been a goal. McGovern's gone for another mark of the day, and he's messed it up.
Was it going to fade and hit the post, or was it going through 100%? That's what would have been in Mitch McGovern's mind there, going for that one.
That's what he'll be trying to explain in the review.
It was going through.
Yep, that was well through. And you can see the disappointment on Simpson's face as well. He'd done so much hard work. Back inside 50. Patton got there. Free kick, hold, St Kilda's ball.
Got to be a bit smarter, St Kilda, when they're exiting their D50. Kicking long, as we said, the Carlton defenders just pushing up. So you're kicking to a 50-50. They've got to find their way out with short kicks.
Just on that as well, Hind becomes very dangerous in a game where the opposition push right up, because there's so much open space from the centre of the ground to the goal square for the Saints.
Long. Goes long, Marshall the target and getting back Casbolt. He enjoys the freedom of playing in defence occasionally.
Oh, it's a luxury they have now with Liam Jones not in at the side. Casbolt forward or back. Such a weapon now for the Blues.
Mackay! And we know he's got a great set of hands. Pulls the kick short, and he got Kennedy, but it was touched. He plays on into space, missed his target. Little poke pass to Jack Stephen. It was too tough for him to bend down and pick it, so he kicked it, and the umpire said accidental. Toss it in. Saints fans also living in hope that they're seeing something growing, something cooking for their club for next season as well. Under Brett Ratton, maybe, but if not Ratton, someone else who can take this momentum and parlay that into something special. Plowman keeps it low, and he found Lang as his target.
Weighted numbers at the moment, Doom. 14-6 when it comes to inside 50s from a Carlton point of view. Only kicked the 2 goals so far from the 14 entries, but it's just that continual pressure that they're...
I've got the feeling, Jono, that the Blues are desperately unlucky that they're only 1 goal ahead. They've been a whole lot better than that. You see the synergy between the kicker from around 50 or so and the McGovern attempted mark on the goal line. They're a 3-goal better team in this quarter.
Just Lang's 19th game as a Blue, and that's offline.
Josh Bruce is getting his positioning wrong. You saw that Big Levi marked that one. Brucey was still inside the centre square. He's got to block that run or get to it.
And he attacks this one, held his ground, kept his feet, flicks it to Akers, who had 2 with him. Left doors closed on him, was going nowhere, ball up.
That's what you want, though, out of the contest. Just bring it to ground and leave Harvard, because they've taken some intercept marks so far, Carlton.
And Levi's pulled away from this.
Cruiser with a fist. Talk about how joyous the Blues fans are at the moment. They won 4 of their last 43 under Brendan Bolton as coach, and now they've won 5 of their past 9 under David Teague. So you come to the footy and you're seeing some good footy and you're seeing wins. Why wouldn't you come back? Akers goes back. Ross heads in that Bruce direction. Bruce and Membry both there. Bruce, front spot. Sends it long. Takes Sinclair if he can get him. Just through his hands. Petreski, Seaton, Casbolt. Smothered by Membry. Flicks it out. Back to Sinclair. He went out selfishly in the end to Billings, who rolled it home.
Been a great matchup so far. Billings v Walsh on a wing, and it was Billings this time. Walsh wasn't too far away, but Billings' positioning back into the corridor was first class. Gave his teammate in Sinclair just the best option going forward.
Now, if you watch here, what Levi will give you is aerial ability. What you don't want him to do is think. No, I'm trying to be... but I mean think in confined spaces. Keep it simple when the ball's on the deck. Don't imagine a way out. And what he tried to do is thread a handball here. That's the turnover. Saints gather. 1 kick later, it's a goal. Now, he's been fantastic so far, Levi, but you don't want him trying to think too deep. Even a worst-case scenario, swivel on the spot, hack it in the air, give it 3 to 4 seconds hang time, and let somebody fight the fight down the line.
So the Blues kicked the first 2 goals of this game. Saints have kicked the last 2. Cruiser ran into a dead-end street, and Hunter Clark, well, Cripps was attacking the ball. He just clipped Hunter Clark high. Flicks it wide to Marshall. He ran nicely off Cruiser there quickly. And he pumps it. Bruce, can he get there? Membry, Bruce, both there. Hanbury, delightful. That's why they're paying him the big bucks.
There's a mini disaster for Carlton just in the first quarter because they've been a 3-goal better team. Now you see, you can't run out the ball when somebody's full frontal and put your hip into their head. I know that's the old way of protecting yourself as you go in, but he was there earlier. What a beautiful crumb. They've been the better team here, Carlton.
It was a contest from Membry there, just being in amongst the Blues talls and brought the soft hands down, which allowed it to stay in the vicinity of the Crummers, and Hanbury was in the perfect spot. Ben Dixon, just at ground level, the fact that Setterfield has to go back, he's played wing
week in, week out since he's come into this team this season again. Is that unsettling them in the middle of the ground a little bit now?
It is a little bit, yeah. We're just speaking about it in terms of the small forwards too for the Saints. So they've had to rejig a little bit, and it's hurt them because we know Cripps and Steele are going to have a fair battle throughout the day.
Free kick, Hanbury, so he's mesmerising them in the middle as well. They're holding on to him so he can't have an impact. Hit that a little skinny. Petreski, Seaton, Simpson, Setterfield. Mackay comes down to help them settle.
A lot more patient, Carlton, under Teague as well. They're not rushing themselves. They can play quick, but they've found some gears as well.
McGovern held, free kick. Looks for Cruiser. Got hands to it, but he got there a little late to the contest. Marshall to Hanbury, dispossessed. Curnow got plenty on it, hit a good spot with it as well. Nunes gets back, but he fumbled it and left it for the Blues. DeLuca missed it.
There's no drop that's a good drop, but that wasn't a great one by Jack Nunes. And once again, a league footballer, probably 7 times out of 10, is going to snap that. So there's the drop. Second grab at it. There's another one that misses for the Blues.
Curnow slaps it away from Marshall. It's a pat to the head from Setterfield. And a round of applause from the Blues fans, and we'll get a ball in. Bright sunshine with 3.5 minutes left. Cruiser tried to hand it to Murphy. He had it, dropped to his knees, got up, got a kick away. Through the traffic, Hanbury. And he likes it in the congested areas. Nice handball. Akers got it wide to Steele. And now Ross goes, and back to Akers. And it opens up for them. One-on-one's ahead. Stevens going to have to go. Got it to ground. Newman held. Petreski Seaton plays onto advantage. He hits his target. Dow to Curnow. He sits it on Mackay's head. He had to go back and engage too high with Brown.
They almost broke too quick then, Carlton. Their forwards were caught in between, underneath the kick, chasing St Kilda out. And they got the turnover. They would have been well advised to probably just soak up a bit of time and bite off a couple of little short passes.
Steele wide. Almost Plowman. Long. Little flick out. Ross turned away from traffic nicely. Stephen caught behind again, and Newman takes the mark.
Just watching a great battle through the middle of the ground. Matty Cruiser and Rowan Marshall. It's like a game of Tiggy. They're just trying to push each other off and then run as much as they can. The work rate's been enormous from those two in the first quarter.
Plowman. Yeah, Marshall had a bit of a knee scare last week, had that hyperextension, but he's come up okay, and it looks like he's moving fantastically at the moment. Back out to Newman.
This is that patience Ben Dixon spoke about.
Yeah, it's various game styles to suit the situation in the game.
And it's a sign of confidence too, the ability that you can do that on game day consistently, and they've done that for the last 9 weeks.
Let's have a look at the capabilities inside 50. 11% v 30%. That's where the Blues have probably been better off throughout the field in general.
Blues fans claim Cruiser was edged out there. Newman went up, but he put it to grass. Long knocks it on. Play on advantage. Jack Stephen needs to kick this one now. Buffeted, gave it to Bruce. He got a kick away. Behind.
Well done, Blues defence to hold that up.
Stephen should have realised and gone back. Just put his hands up and said, no, I'm not playing on.
Great tackling defence. There's organised defence, but in the moment, to tackle in defence mode, wonderfully done by the Blues.
Yeah, tackle drifted a little high from Plowman, but he got away with it. O'Brien, Petreski, Seaton.
Didn't he see him?
Heads out wide. Silvani, Steele. Silvani protected it, got it. Played for the free. Holding the ball, he dropped it. As he was
Don't kick it, don't kick it.
Is that 50?
St Kilda. It's St Kilda's free kick.
How's that not 50?
St Kilda's free kick out wide. Thank you. Thank you. Hold it. Play on.
Explained it pretty well.
Yeah. Billings.
But you're right, Derm. Why isn't it 50 metres?
The whistle was blown. They were yelling at him.
Well, he faked the sincerity. He says that he didn't know it was against him.
Oh, that's another.
Bruce almost rakes it in. Ross. Hanbury. Fans are enjoying this. They're all in full voice. Saints fans and Blues fans. Bend around the body towards the top of the 50, but Hunter Clark beaten for it by Murphy.
You're right, Dwayne. We're the only sport in the world where the umpires feel sorry for players and don't penalise them because they think they don't hear it.
Yeah. We're sticking with that old whistle that they can't hear, though, aren't we? We've had it for 100 years. They claim they can't hear it for 100 years, but we'll still stick with it. Wilkie. Little 1-2 with Wilkie. He runs and loads up. Bruce can't get there. Casbolt got there in front of him.
That very play there, Bruce needed a lead at him.
Fantastic opening turn by these two. Yeah, they can't make the finals, but they are turning it on for their fans in the last third of this season. And
intriguing battle between Cruiser and Marshall first quarter. Cruiser just keeps ploughing forward. Marshall's a little bit more attempted to be crafty, getting to the outside.
And Cruiser, 30-year-old, has been around a long time, but Marshall's a 23-year-old and been plying his trade in VFL teams for a long time before finally getting his AFL crack, and he looks like he's got a bit of experience about him as well as some sprightly youth as well.
Definitely. Cruiser's relying on clearances at the moment, 1-4 in the first quarter, where Marshall's relying on turnover to spread to the outside here at the MCG and use the width of the ground.
A lot of time at North Ballarat, try and get noticed, but it's the old story about some ruckmen taking a bit longer. And here he is with Cruiser again. They knock it down. Dunstan kept it in. Nunes back to Stephen. Simpson and Hine. Ball through Akers. Little knock on from Hine was clever. Didn't go to ground, and then he pokes it back to his own advantage and pokes it to half forward to Loney. Options are plenty. Goes to Billings.
Bruce has got Casbolt led up. Vacates the scene, Dwayne.
And Dunstan gets inside 50, and that was a clever kick. He just kicked it within Dunstan's range to allow Dunstan to have a shot here.
Now, obviously, I study the St Kilda forwards, but equally, you're looking at the Carlton backman. This is the danger quarter for Levi Casbolt. He's not a great endurance athlete, and Bruce is. So if he gets turned around and run back to goal, this is the danger for Levi. Can he stay with him?
Dunstan mongrels that. A horrible kick, top of the square. Hind, the man who started it all, kicks his second.
Well, Newman completely lost this in the sun. Didn't even attempt the mark whatsoever. He might have got hit as well, but I think he just covers his eyes up, can't see the ball, Derman.
I thought he got
his direct opponent on the ground, just waiting for the crumb.
I thought he got clobbered from. I thought Brucey clobbered him too high over the shoulder here. Little lead comes on.
He's got it in his side. He just loses it. Oh, he lost it in the sun.
He's a bit stiff. He got clobbered.
And he got hit as well. There.
Oh, he's got whacked in the head, Jono.
I think it was on the side. I don't think it was a free kick.
Oh, sorry, it's in the side of the head. That's you can't have in the back, in the head.
Nah, side of the body. It was okay. He just lost it completely in the sun, Newman.
Would you like me to replay it on your head? See how you like it. That's a free kick.
Damn son. Yeah, it wasn't the marking contest. I'll let you two continue to argue it, but the point is, Carlton kicked the first 2 goals of this game, and the Saints have kicked the last 4.
Dunstan,
and Dunstan will get the clearance.
A lot of midfield free kicks at the moment for holding.
Yeah, straight down the Staples as well. Gets it inside 50, knocked down by Casbolt. Little knock on to Hind, who's wreaking havoc. Loney tried to pick it and back out of the house, but he was caught. Blues get players around this ball up. Good contest at the moment. Slow start by the Saints, but they're hot right now. And Bruce takes it out of the air, bounced it towards goal, and got an ugly, unkind, bounced it. In the end, could have been worse. It hits the post and it's a ball in rather than a behind.
Well, one thing's for sure. Levi won't let him grab this one now. Oh, that's dropping short.
Shallow.
Oh, he did.
Bruce took it. Little knock on. Good wing tackle on Gibbons. Umpire gives him time. No prior, according to the umpire.
Big challenge for Carlton here to get this out, because under Brett Ratton, the time in forward half, the Saints have dominated that.
Casbolt knocks it down. Gibbons kicks smothered. Ricochet. Akers tried to flick it to Sinclair. Cripps in the congestion. Hasn't had a big impact just yet. Cripps. Ball comes to Hind. Sets it up to Akers. Bumped on the kick nicely.
First quarter, the Saints couldn't hold the ball inside forward 25. This opening 3.5 minutes here of the second quarter, they've been very good at tying it down inside there.
So Cruiser set up down the middle here, where the Daisy Thomas will go straight down the corridor.
He'll want to be the second kick here.
He pulls the kick towards Cripps, who is held. That was clever.
Yeah, they'll make Cruiser the second target kick. Now he comes around down the line. He's got a short on first.
Murphy. Mackay. Dunstan, he just overcommitted on the attempt to knock down. Dow, Cripps, Murphy. Well, Cruiser left it for Kennedy.
Beautifully played.
Kennedy's opened up the angle and played on. Now he has to go, and he didn't hit it well. Ball still alive in the pocket. Hunter Clark takes it out. They didn't think their way through that.
Well, he had Silvani in the goal square all by himself, and he tried to get it over the top, but it just wasn't on. He just couldn't get it round to get it to him quick enough.
Once again, they moved the ball beautifully from the back line. Their synergy inside forward 25, not great.
Marshall knocked it down, but to Cripps, who flicks it out to Lang, whose kick was smothered by Billings.
That was extraordinary hands from Paddy Cripps, just there over the shoulder and across straight on his lap.
We saw that they were only going at 11% for goals inside 50 in the first quarter.
Scrambled away by Marshall. It'll be coming back. Newman. It was touched, so he had to play on quickly. Marshall goes up, puts it to grass. Savage can't get away with it. Dow had him wrapped up. Brown flicks it out. Curnow. Kennedy. All the way back to Simpson. Shields his eyes from the sun. Pops it to the pocket of Silvani, who's got there. No, on the fourth. David Teague looks composed, as you would when you've just signed a 3-year deal. Patton.
Back to the 9. Michael, back to the 9. Thank you.
The problem is he's got Cripps down the line now.
He goes to that 2-on-2.
Holding, say Kilda. To Kilda, advantage.
Okay, advantage paid. Everybody stopped. Hind didn't. He took off, went to long. He's got the runner, Ross. Almost handed it behind him. He's got the long in memory. Shields his eyes from the sun. Got it. Plowman looked in his eyes to try and work out where the ball was on the way down. He had a swipe, but he didn't find any Sharon.
So the ball's moved from end to end in the last 60 seconds with really, really good ball movement. Except you've seen that St Kilda are probably going to cap off there inside 50, whereas Carlton, from probably a little bit closer, made a meal of theirs.
It's a pretty good set shot record, this spot, all grounds. Mentioned earlier how accurate he has been for his career. 5 goals in a row for the Saints.
Well, the quick play on from half-back, taking that advantage, worked in their favour big time, because it allowed their forwards in some great positions. Long was able to come up at the kicker, which was a smart kick in the end, and the overlap run just continued from the Logos, and Membry was clearly out the back for the Saints. They just adjusted quicker. We talk about Carlton getting up the ground, trying to compress the ground, but on quick turnover, they're getting caught out at the moment.
The two Carlton key backmen being Plowman and Casbolt, it worries me when they have to turn around and face their own defensive goals and chase.
Yep.
They're the type of backmen that like to play back shoulder and see everything in front of them, opponent and incoming ball.
Cruiser Marshall battle continues.
Van Dixon was onto it. There's a lot of holding and man decisions.
Yeah, they're trying to get to the 1 metre rule, which is the drop of the ball in front, so everyone's fighting for that spot.
Big pack flies. Long got the handball up. Bruce gang tackled. Membry tried to go off the deck, missed it. Plowman, Petreski, Seaton, Setterfield lays a tackle.
Well, the Blues fans won't like that down there.
Don't hit it over on the full.
So umpire coaching at the moment, don't hit it over on the full, which is an interesting warning, but you kind of sometimes just got to let the players play.
I agree. And if they make the mistake,
you penalise them. That's always been the way for 120 years.
Don't give them an option.
Saying you're two big guys, you obviously don't know the rules, but here's a refresher for you. And Casbolt lays a tackle.
How that's not over the shoulders beyond me. Blindsided though, the umpire was to the inside.
Are the players allowed to suggest the rules to the umpire?
They do frequently.
Casbolt rips it out of the air. Kick smothered. Hanbury got it on the boot. Playing in front, Membry. He was positioned 1A, got the reward.
That's that, even from that area, and I'm all full of praise for Lockie Plowman as a young man and a footballer, but he still plays back shoulder, and I know you probably have to do that then, but that's what you give up. The little spear snap kick that comes in. You see him just run here. See, he's gone for the back. He's run around him to get to the back shoulder. So anything that comes forward low and flat is going to hit Membry first.
Hanbury's back in some good form as well. Last week, he's already had 9 today, kicked the goal, set that one up there around the contest. It's been very strong for the Saints.
It's been a horror year for the Saints, been a horror year for Hanbury, but both showing some signs that next year could be a lot different. 6 goals in a row for the Saints now after the Blues kicked the opening 2. Akers caught, stripped. Membry flicks it out to Marshall. Gave it up to Hanbury. Man we've been speaking about. Good tackle late. A full 360 on Dow, but he got away with it. Umpires have been allowing that a little lately. Gibbons, open goal, just needs to be clean, and he's dirty.
Well, they've had their chances.
Steele. O'Brien got a toe on it. Fisher gave it up just in time. Walsh poked his kick, and this might work. Lang in the pocket can take some time and settle them down a little.
Not just the volume of numbers that he's put up in terms of the metres gained, the contested footy, the overall possessions, but his ability to think under pressure there, Walsh, was superb.
Well, Sydney Stack was dropped this week by Richmond, so that wraps up the NAB Rising Star for Walsh, you would think, and Lang makes the most of his good work.
You can always look at numbers, Jono, but for the first time inside, well inside 50 metres for about 30 minutes, this is the most thinking disposal that they've come forward with. And it comes from the youngest man on the list.
He's not that far away from deserving a nomination in the All-Australian squad of 40.
Well, yeah, his numbers suggest that, and the way he's played, there's some pretty good players.
He won't make the All-Australian team, but squad of 40, he can't be far outside of that.
Well, the volume of his work has just been extraordinary. Yeah, take away the age and the lack of experience, and yeah, he's had an awesome year.
Cruiser and Marshall to go at it again. Marshall climbs high, got it to Hanbury, flicks it back again. Sinclair, Billings, Hunter Clark, Steele. Beautiful movement and a bullet pass in the Stephen direction. Petreski Seaton, Setterfield, hands it back to set it all up. A little wide kick to Gibbons is good from Plowman. He's got Petreski Seaton as his runner, made it impossible for him. Marshall jumps on him. Petreski Seaton jumped on it first, and he was lucky there, Petreski Seaton.
That's what they do. They get inside that little bubble there and try and handball it as quick as they possibly can. But when you don't execute, put yourself under enormous pressure. Well outnumbered as well.
Quickly turned into a 5v1, Dicko.
That's a free kick all day long.
Yeah, the umpire saying that he didn't have prior, and he accidentally slipped. But if he...
And he chose to hang on to the ball. It's no different to dragging it in.
But he had less pride than the guy in the middle of the ground earlier that was slung 360, didn't he?
Correct.
Yep. Ball down the line. Don't we love the grey areas of our beautiful game? DeLuca goes inboard to Walsh, to DeLuca, to Simpson. Now the Blues have some space. Just need to use it wisely. Handball to Casbolt, not so wise. Memory crept up behind him.
Kilda, stay out, Josh.
Oh, he's kicked it over Billings' head and he slipped in the backtrack. Mackay dumped. Back to Billings. He gave it to a man under pressure. Memory is a little cook now in his third attempt in the string of play. Hunter Clark.
You're right, the class there of Hunter Clark, the composure in that contest, the step, the fake, and then the little left foot just to settle things down for the Saints.
Only man, Dwayne, who had calmness for the last 60 seconds, Hunter Clark.
And that tackle from Hannaby was enormous then. He's just telling him right now in front of me, just calm down, slow it down, keep it, and possess it.
Hind short to Hunter Clark again.
Having a good couple of minutes here, the Blues, though. Just need to capitalise.
Can Memory get there to jump? He can't. Casbolt held his ground. Gibbons.
Hold there. Hold. Play on. Hold, Tim.
Newman.
Hold. Play on.
Tresky-Seaton can go if he wants to. He had Loney lurking behind him, but Loney had to run away. DeLuca.
Play on. Play on. Play on.
To Gibbons.
Got away with it, St Kilda, but you can't give up that 45 inside kick to the corridor. They just did.
Yeah, but Tresky-Seaton had to go, really. And now Gibbons does go. Gets around Hanbury with ease. Sits it on Curno's head, though. Horrible delivery. Savage dropped what he should have taken. Akers inside. Long. Back to Akers. And now it opens up for the Saints. He launches it. Can Simpson get there? He does. He really had to motor. Old legs were motoring, but he got there in time and he floats it out wide. Kennedy. McGovern, who owes them one.
Jakey Carlisle just thought he could impact the player in front of him and ran off McGovern and found himself neither on the shore nor swimming deep enough. He was just sort of knee deep and he was nowhere.
Seesawing contest for momentum. Saints kicked 6 goals in a row and the Blues have responded with 2 in a row of their own.
Turnover football, and that's where the Blues capitalise on this occasion. Simpson to O'Brien, and O'Brien, who's a lovely left foot kick, was able to play on. If he's got time and space around him, then he rarely misses the target. So he gets it here. O'Brien's already gone. He's released off the back there of Nunes, and off he goes. And it's that next kick, overlap football. McGovern's already sitting inside forward 50 with his hands in the air going, just get it to me, boys. And that's exactly what they did.
You can see that Jakey Carlisle was thinking, I can assist here when this ball drops just outside 50, but it didn't. It overlapped him, found himself in no man's land.
Marshall's had a rest. He's back on, and that's a beautiful palm down to Hanbury, who was stripped and dropped it. Blues fans wanted ball. Cruiser gets the clearance. The Savage off Dunson's leg. Could have been a hold on Fisher. Dow got a handball out wide. Gibbons off the deck. DeLuca back to Gibbons. On the back pedal, a little too wide for Kennedy. It's on the full.
How good is Cruiser again? The surge that Cruiser gives you, the momentum. We talk about momentum in, you know, teams' fortunes, but out of the centre circle, he is fantastic like that. That's out.
Gibbons to send it back. He's got Walsh inside at centre-half forward on his own. Ignored that option. Mackay. Curnow lays the tackle to hold it in.
He's up to 12 disposals now. Gibbons has been involved all over the ground.
Keep the meter, Matt. Matt, 1 metre.
Marshall and Cruiser go at it again. Cripps in that congestion. Little roller. Has that gone through? Cripps and Curnow manufacture something from nothing.
I was waiting for Carlton to jump up and say he touched it, but it looked like the bounce just popped over his hand, which I'm sure we'll have a look here on replay. Cruiser fighting in there, Cripps as well. There's Curnow with the quick kick out. It just popped up.
He's done a great job, Jack Steele, so far. Only 8 possessions to Patrick Cripps. 9 possessions now with that little give. And Cripps creates a goal there. Just his ability, his power, his strength to stand up and just give a 1 metre handball while, gee, looks like he's got half of St Kilda's team hanging off him at that stage. But he's done a good job, Jack Steele. 9 possessions to Cripps as we near half-time.
Yeah, Jack Steele versus the man of steel out there, Carlton Superman. And his hands were quicker than the eye at that last run forward. Ross blasted forward, bouncing ball, centre field, going against the grain though. Could have left it for Newman. He is in turn got.
What's your opinion, Dwayne, on that? If you get the ball, no prior opportunity, somebody pins one of your arms and you freely hold the ball in the other.
You've had an opportunity to throw it on your boot or throw it away.
Correct.
Marshall gives it up. Sinclair pokes it, top of the square. Jumping in Casbolt, good battle. He kind of was and kind of wasn't in the back of Bruce. Umpire said, keep going, boys.
Almost Josh Bruce again. We saw Levi Casbolt as a forward turn backman. He likes to see everything that's happening in front of him, so he allows Bruce to get to the lead.
Bruce takes it away. Cruiser and Cripps wrap him up. Fend off Casbolt. Got it to Petreski-Seaton. Ball thumped back out again.
They're back, the Blues. Fantastic.
They're living the dream right now because they are starting to scare a few people as to what they might be able to do in the coming years. They might actually be led by the best player in the game right now, Patrick Cripps. There's a few contenders for that mantle, but he is one that could actually keep getting better with each coming season.
And they get one of the most exciting young key forwards come back next year, Charlie Curnow as well.
They've got a few out, Charlie Curnow, Liam Jones, Caleb Marchbank. Sam Doherty hopefully comes back next year as well. Marshall goes back.
Gee, that's a good kick. High risk.
Battle to Patton, who can go. Long lead from Membry. He's really sprinting to get there. Sat on his hand, he's still good enough. That was an outstanding grab.
Got a sensational vertical leap, and obviously that was in full flight then.
At the end of a 100-metre sprint to get into position. Little tunnel, but not enough to give a free kick away. Murphy, Petreski-Seaton, Dale Thomas, Ed Curnow, Jack Silvani. There's that 45 kick Dicko told you about. Petreski-Seaton, Setterfield and Curnow not on the same page. Marshall wrapped him up. Plowman can't part the seas. He's wrapped up, somehow got it out. Marshall lays another tackle on Curnow while he's on his backside. Fought hard there, the big man.
Matt, Rowan, here we go. Play on.
Gibbons scrambles it away. Savage playing in front.
High contact, St Kilda. Pat, play on.
Patton.
Hold there, Pat. Me.
Savage.
Play on. You.
Membry.
Hold lock.
Again, working hard to make position.
Making space behind him, Membry. That's the second lead he's taken up
Play on.
through the middle of the ground in 2 minutes.
Thanks, Pat. Hold there.
Back to Savage.
Locating well too here, the forwards for Carlton, which is pushing St Kilda back at the moment.
Gee, that's a 65-metre kick towards Bruce in a one-on-one with Casbolt. Blues fans screaming for another free. Newman to DeLuca. Gave him the hot potato. Had to feed it back. Said, you have it back. And he does well. Gave it to Thomas. scrambles it towards Plowman.
That's a super kick from Dale Thomas. Under immense pressure, the Blues.
They're out. Newman needs to hit a target. Silvani. He plays on quickly to Cripps. Has some space. He's got Dow inside 50. He's got Mackay inside 50. Goes to O'Brien instead. He's got Lang long. Sits it high. Couldn't get anywhere near it, Lang. Hunter Clark read it to perfection.
They would be 3 goals further ahead than where they are now, Carlton, if it wasn't for Hunter Clark. His ability to calm the farm, his ability to find the errant ball that's coming in, it's been superb.
Well, he reads the play so well too. He's enormous across half-back, and as you mentioned, with the composure and his delivery.
Just keep that meter, guys. Keep that meter.
Jack Stephen he can be dangerous, but his opponents in this quarter are having a fair say on the last line in running the ball out.
So the two coaches on your screens. Saints could actually be 1 game outside the 8 at the conclusion of this if they get a win. But a monster percentage behind as well, as Akers uses the meterage. Heads long. Daisy Thomas showing he's still got the jets. Petreski-Seaton. Newman. Well played, Daisy.
Couple of big moments for Daisy Thomas.
Yeah.
Really working hard defensively, getting back first to assist.
O'Brien wide, turns it over. So Marshall on the run. He spanks it 50. Bruce stalks it, got there, spills it. Daisy again. Clever little handoff. Petreski-Seaton down the spine.
Was that Daisy with the spoil then?
It was Petreski-Seaton with the spoil, then the follow-up. Daisy was first back front and square.
As Bruce had turned his opponent, Casbolt, around.
Yep.
Cruiser gets a touch back on Marshall. Heads wide, almost 50 there. He marked it and then was grabbed. Dow.
They've given away the 50s if from what we've seen today.
Play on.
Mackay.
Lovely leader.
It was a great kick as well, Derm, in terms of just putting it out, floating it into the space, and just let him float into it and not allow Brown just to get around and create that spoil.
Touch kick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just a soft touch. The old adage of make it as easy as possible for your forward to receive the football.
So for 4 goals in a row for the Blues, it's across the face. Cruiser under it, can't mark it. O'Brien caught, kept it alive, top of the square. Billings. Wilkie shows some poise, and he's done that all year, the mature age recruit. And the accidental off the side of the boot kick bounces out of play.
It's a very good accident, that one.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. Matt, Rowan.
3 minutes left in what's been
Come on, way, boys.
a fantastic half of footy for two teams that are 13th and 16th on the ladder. Marshall and Cruiser go at it. Cruiser feeds a handball out, but he missed his target. Billings around the body towards the wing, and Levi got there. Again, no wetering for the Blues today. A late withdrawal if you've joined us late. Setterfield. And if you have joined us late, Saints kicked 6 goals in a row, and the Blues have kicked the last 3 since then. Mackay attacks it. Steele wrapped up and dumped. And the Blues still a chance to take the lead in at half-time here with this momentum swing.
Last 11 minutes, 3 goals to nothing in favour of the Blues. And the only thing that really stands out is the tackling. So the pressure on the stat sheet, it's gone up another level for the Blues.
Cripps barreled Marshall through the traffic with the handball up. Ross buffeted out of a Cruiser, just plucked it with one paw. Got it to half forward. Kept into his detriment by Hunter Clark. Little fumble. Savage tried to mop up the mess. Ross has to stand his ground. He was called back by Bruce, who said it's your ball and you're okay. Spears it out wide. Casbolt just flicked it away from Newnes, who gave him one to the chest.
He didn't flinch, Levi, didn't feel it. He's a big man, isn't he?
And we say the Blues fans have come back to the footy, but gee, a lot of these fans stuck with their team through the thin. And it's been fantastic that they have stuck. In fact, their membership now 65-odd thousand. Testament to how great a club they are. Daisy with a little show of the ball, if you don't mind. Have a look at what I've got. Goes towards Mackay.
Back to Harry. Right there. Hold, Hunter.
That's 50 6 weeks ago, the way he walked up onto the mark.
He sprayed the kick, but O'Brien ended up having space to run into to Kennedy. He just didn't quite get the chance to feed back onto it as he thought he would.
So
Ball rolls out of play.
Hunter Clark hands the ball to the Carlton player and then runs further forward to the man on the mark. You've got to exit the scene. You can't do that. They've put the whistle away for 50 today, Dwayne, which isn't a bad thing.
No, sometimes the fans scream that. And off with the whistle. Umpire's having an impact. Hanbury let the boys play around the body. Bounced it over Casbolt's head. Bruce. Plowman comes at him. He had it. He dropped it. He's jumped on. He rakes it in. He rakes it out. Ross. He goes. Open space ahead for Long. He's got a paddock ahead. Thinks his way through it. Has a bounce. Gets within range. Epic goal.
He's a talent.
Go back to the rake in, rake out. That's what worked for Josh Bruce, Dwayne. You're right, he did. He raked it back in, tapped it out, and away they went. Some free-flowing football.
So this is what I was talking about earlier. So Casbolt isn't in on the scene yet because he's got him under the ball. If you can turn Levi around, you're a shot to get at the ball and compete against somebody who has to assist against you, meaning a smaller man in Josh Bruce's case.
That's a huge finish from Long. Under pressure, has to change his run, go towards the boundary line, takes the bounce.
Thought his way through, didn't he?
That's brilliant.
Yeah. He's a long, though. The longs are capable of just about anything.
Especially on the MCG.
He's reported for rough conduct on Levi Casbolt when these two teams met earlier this year, but wasn't suspended. Down to Murphy. Feeds it back to Setterfield. Important seconds coming up here for both teams. 46-35 the scoreline. 11 points the margin. Ball on the wing. Simpson. Gibbons. Bumped. Loney. Stephen. Ross. Sits it up long. He's hoping for Bruce. Oh, the sun beat them all. Rolls to the back. And Setterfield bangs into the behind post.
Did you see Bruce thought, well, Levi's there. I can't see the footy, so I'm going to go to Levi. He ran past the drop of the ball because he could not see the footy.
See that at Bathurst. The front car gets it wrong and they all end up running off the track. Ball back into play. Cruiser takes it out of the air. The ricochet. Walsh goes back. Seconds tick down. We're down to 15 and it'll be coming back. Last roll of the dice for the Saints here to win the half.
Been
Here
told
it
the
is.
time.
High, top of the square, big fist, down to Long and kick the last one. Lays the tackle on Walsh, wrapped up. No ball free. Siren sounds. Awesome contest between these two. Saints 16th and Carlton 18th last season. So the Saints were 2 spots ahead of Carlton last year. Saints 13th, Carlton 16th right now. 3 spots ahead of the Blues, but this could be the kind of battle we lick our lips for a long, long time to come, the way they're developing. Second half underway. Marshall gets the clearance. Gets the Saints inside 50. Casbolt bangs it back out wide. Good stretch from Billings. Dunstan.
See, that was still better by Casbolt. They get a chance to reset. Don't try and be too elaborate with the footy. Just bang it on the boot, get it out of there, go for the boundary.
Membry with that vertical leap again. The double-footed jump. And he gets some hang time out of it.
He's got the basketball hop, hasn't he?
Yeah.
There's a few we've seen. There's a bloke retiring, playing his last game tomorrow, that wears number 2 for the Hawks, who's a double-foot jumper as well. So a lot of people will tell you when you come in, it's going to be limited how far you can go with that type of style of jump. But here's a couple of lads this weekend that'll show you can go a long, long way.
He's 8th in the race for the Coleman. He sprayed a couple today, and Casbolt mops it up.
Back to the 9.
Just sits it over the top of Daisy Thomas's head. He was brave enough to go and get it.
Speaking of brave, those pigeons on the ground where the ball's going to land.
They don't move.
Look at them.
This is their turf. They live here. Carlisle gets up. I presume it's the same ones every week. I don't know them by name, but they look the same as the ones that were here last week.
You can pick the difference.
Been coming here for years, those pigeons and seagulls. Ball about to be tossed back in. Marshall and Cruiser. Marshall, little knockdown to his own advantage. Then he's wing tackled. Now he's had way too much time.
See, that's holding the ball.
Yeah.
He's playing the ball. He was first at it, and they say give him the chance, but he's got a free foot.
He got lucky there. Steele wobbles one to half forward. Bruce, nice collect, flicks a handball out. Hanbury and his pocket picked by Cripps. He gets the full 360. Got it to Dow. Oh, big attack by Dunstan back against the grain. Ball in dispute. Wing. Kennedy had a chance. Wilkie had a chance to deliver to a teammate. Murphy looks up, goes back to Cripps. Not a bad option. Arms free. Couldn't get a handball away decisively. Two big men go at it. Marshall kicked his man after kicking mid-air. Lays the tackle on Petrensky-Seaton. He got it away to Dunstan. He got it away to Ross. He got it away to Hind. The speedster, top of the square. Long, up, dropped it. Almost high on Loney. Ball comes out to Bruce. Feeds it out wide. Big kick this for Billings to finish it all off. And he sprays it.
Newman saw as well. He still hasn't been able to get up after that marking contest where Long jumped into his back.
Yeah, the knee to the kidneys, and he's not often just from one marking attempt do you say he's in a bit of strife. I reckon. Oh yeah, that's a back of the left ribs, a break or something into the kidneys there.
And the umpires realised that it could be serious, so he held up play for a second just to allow him to gather some composure, and now play will resume.
Starting to look better for him.
Steele attacks it with Cripps. Ball came to Dow, to Cripps, to Curnow. Touch play on. Silvani used his body nicely. Peels back onto it. Gave it to Murphy, who runs, holds up, waits, flicked it to Silvani. He hits the pocket to McGovern.
He's been sensational today, Jack Silvani.
Hasn't he?
Yep. He's
great play.
Used to the ball, left and right. Great play there, and his body positioning in the contest is a lot better.
He's had the best season of his career.
Yep.
He's still only 21.
Yeah.
People speak harshly of him. Some people were speaking harshly of him. The boy hasn't learned 30% of the craft yet.
Younger brother on the list developing as well for the Blues. McGovern bends that around, but not enough.
That was beautiful ball movement again by the Blues.
Their hands in tight, it's been super, especially congestion-wise from half-back. They've been quite clean, and on the back of that, had some scores.
Casper, delightful.
He's good at that. He just reaches into the small of his opposition's back, pushes him under.
Toward McGovern.
Handball play on.
Throws it to Silvani. Back to McGovern, back to Cripps. On the drop step. He's dropped it, and to his detriment, Battle takes the mark.
Stay out.
So he's either got to find a real short or punt it down the line and expect Josh Bruce to fight the fight.
Bruce comes at it, got up. Casbolt's fist beat them all. Murphy down on one knee, gave it to Dow. Beautiful sidestep. Delivery inside 50, might still work. Fisher, he didn't really have a left-handed handball in him. Had he had a left-handed handball, they had a goal.
Just feel that the Blues are in gear and set to make their move here. Yet to put a goal on the board this quarter, going close to 5 minutes.
Marshall and Cruiser go at it again. Cruiser front spot. Steele. Nunes dumped. Face planted. Murphy to Fisher. Pops at top of the square. Can't get a jump up. Battle.
Kilda.
Yeah, held that. Silvani tried to claim it.
The home crowd. Isn't it great to hear him?
Carlisle gets it from Billings.
Now, the overall view we're seeing here, this is what Ben Dixon was talking about. The press up of Carlton is stronger. under David T.
Casbolt used his body to get that down to Simpson. Mackay, Carlisle's fist wings out. Gibbons looks up, he had the runner outside. So a bit of ball in forward pocket for the Blues.
And what you get with the press up is obviously saturation to get the ball back, and then you've got the ability to spread and open it up.
Marshall reaches over the top. Curnow. Dunstan. Cruiser wrapped him up. Slung in 360. Ball. Finally they give one. Some 360s it is. Some 360s it ain't.
They've been building a lot of pressure here. This is a big kick for the Blues and Matty Cruiser in the context of the game. Derm, you mentioned it a couple of minutes ago, the fact that what they're being able to build in this quarter so far, but not get result for it.
Good season, Matty Cruiser. Injury interrupted career. Missed a couple of games with hip soreness this year. And he misses to the near side.
The thing that's standing out in this opening 6 minutes or so is the Blues contested possession 16, Saints 11. They've taken it up a gear.
Nunes. Patton. Carlisle. Bangs it down the line. Membry got up, ball knocked down. Cripps, good strength. Curnow, Petreski, Seaton. One-handed collect was delightful. Gave it to Walsh. His sidestep just as good. Goes to O'Brien, who can go. Options out wide, didn't have anything in the corridor. Heads to Fisher, on his left, Silvani.
They've got one extra in the forward line, Carlton.
He blasts it, still got back, just got a hand on it, just the fingertips. Flicked it away.
I guarantee you they had one extra in the forward line then and didn't utilise it correctly.
Some really good synergy in that Carlton forward line. We know Silvani's in good form, Harry Mackay, and then the Govern's come back in, but they're isolating themselves really well. So leading up, filling space. So it's a big tick for the future.
They're just not kicking goals, Ben.
No, not hitting the scoreboard.
Casbolt tried to crush that with the fist. He got a bit of it, as much as he would have liked. Plowman got it from O'Brien. Sits it on the head of Mackay, who still fights on, down to Walsh, to Silvani. Hits the top of the goal square. That was tunnelling, or... No, umpire said it was OK. Well, DeLuca pleads his case.
Let's have a look here. There was contact, but nothing to the hips, which came forward under the footy.
Cruiser. Out march Marshall.
They've got to get some return here, the Blues.
Heads long in the Mackay direction. Carlisle got there. He crushed it with his fist. Knocked it down. In that congestion, Acres. Hanbury. Long. Well, he did the hard work and then spilled it. Keeps it in. Flicked away from him by Newman. So he's OK again. Walsh weaves his way through the traffic with some magic. Went to Cripps. Wrap up on Wilkie. Umpire circling and says, I'll ball it up.
Just had to gobble that mark up there, Long. Hanbury, smooth mover, beautiful kick.
Last 10 inside 50, 7-3 Carlton's way.
Yeah, dominating forward traffic, but only 4 behinds to show for it. Holding the ball, no push. Ooh. Free kick, Acres.
Slipped to the ground on his own accord, Blake Acres, and the tackler fell into his back, accentuating the motion.
Wasn't on the back
No,
hit.
he got away with one.
Hanbury caught by Cripps.
That's a legitimate no prior. Wonderful tackle, though. You just feel like the Superman Paddy Cripps has just raised his intensity to this quarter. He's just giving it, he's spinding it a little bit more and very physical.
Setterfield. Boundary line, his friend. He couldn't get it there. Hind was quick. Wobbles one inside 50. Long looks around to see who's around him. Petreski Seaton found Gibbons, who goes. Lang's out wide. Needs to be a really good kick. He sits it on him. Savage got there. Knocked it away from him. Caught though. Just gets a handball away. Got it all the way back to Brown.
It was an important hang-on though, wasn't it?
Ross. He's caught. Hunter
That's
Clark.
third effort from Darcy Lang.
He's
Brilliant.
caught. Sinclair. Wilkie. He's got Billings out wide. This needs to be a good kick, and it is.
How good was the contest between all participants out on the far
Darcy
flank?
Lang in particular.
Yeah.
And the whole battle's been good, and the battles within the battle have been good to watch. Hanbury about to send it inside 50. He goes wide to Long.
On the 50.
That's a super
on the
hit.
50.
He actually told Longy that's where it's going to go and kicked it, and then he had to get there.
And he sets it up for the big leap. Membry, can he get up? Oh, he's put it in! That's one of the marks of the season. He put up one paw and pulled it in.
It's like the Inspector Gadget arm. It just kept going.
Ben Dixon, and there's no coincidence, players who jump off 2 feet often get one hand up and take one hand, as you've seen it with your ex-teammate.
Yeah, Jared Roughhead, basketball background, so that ability to go up with the vertical and pull that ball in on a rebound, so it's fair skill.
Oh, my goodness. He got too close.
A stinker.
Dicko, do something with him, will you?
Don't touch him.
I think they did. But didn't you do something for a while? You had him on track for a while, Dicko. There he is, putting up the baseball glove.
He just got too close to the man on mark then. Skinnied it. Oh, look.
Simpson. Bruce stands under it. McGovern can't get the run that he wanted. Hanbury, right spot, right time. Wilkie. Plowman with the fist. Little push off, didn't work for Cripps, and he was caught a little high ball.
He had the second to make up his mind whether it was going to be evasive action, and that's what he chose. That's the way he plays. That's what makes him brilliant. He normally gets out of those, but there's too many closing the lift door on him.
Yeah, he is a bull, but there were too many running with the bull. Simpson. Simpson. Made the player on the mark, just look at the umpire for a second, then took off on him. Mackay. They're open here. Murphy goes to McGovern. He can get and go. Open space ahead. Show some poise. Have a bounce. And the Blues fans rise as one.
They'll get around Mackay after that contested mark at centre-half back.
He's taking the most on the ground contested marks now, Mackay. He's been very, very good for the Blues in that facet.
So the miscommunication in the kick going forward by Stephen, and Saints were flat on the back of that. They wanted the top of the goal square. Simpson takes the mark, clears it out, and in behind defence. And McGovern, he's looked good. Last 2 weeks, he looks really sharp.
Harry Mackay, they've got one at each end. Levi Casbolt has taken 4 contested marks, and Harry at the other end, Mackay, has taken 4 as well. And 13 contested marks v St Kilda's 6. That's where the ball can break down. That's where the goal came from.
3-point game, back in the middle, edge of the seat stuff. Casbolt into the ruck against Bruce. The 2 secondary ruckmen giving their main rucks a rest. Biggest margin for the Blues was 11 points. Biggest margin for the Saints in this game, 24 points. Not the required distance. Cripps attacks it. Knocked out of it. Steele cuts some slack. Back under Cripps. It gets knocked.
He's on the ground and the ball still comes back to him.
Absolute magnet. He is a magnet.
The ball's gone 30 metres in the air, bubbled out. He's off flat on his stomach and it still comes at him.
Casbolt gets it away. A roller. McGovern got the little paddle on. Gibbons. He got a kick inside 50. Free kick pushing the back. It's hurt his shoulder too, I think.
Now, that can't be their umpire. The ball bounced 1 metre in front of his kick, not where it rolls to.
Don't hold him. Paddy Dow's kick.
He said downfield,
Yep.
and so where it's the ball lands.
Not
and
where
the
the ball finishes.
No.
Yes.
And so it's a 1 metre advance. Watch this.
So it's...
Kick.
So the kick.
So it's about 4 metres ahead of him.
Yep.
Not 40.
Well, I suppose the
Back to the 9.
reconciling that is that the umpires make mistakes too. Savage.
But that's just an understanding of the rules.
Oh, I know, which is probably the main thing that the umpires need to do.
It's your one requirement.
Yeah. Thomas inside. Fisher leaps it wide. Murphy. Wise head with the banana. As good as it's ever got for Murph.
To put him in front, Dwayno.
What about that from Murphy? He set himself, I thought, just going to run him for a drop punt. That's too easy, dude. Might as well make this a little bit more difficult.
He holds it crossway on Daisy. Daisy's playing with a bit of freedom today, isn't he? He's just letting it all hang out.
Yeah.
He's showing the ball around.
Look at that. That is just brilliant.
Big fella at the back.
He loved it, as he should. He knew straight away, too. What a celebration.
We need one back.
Let's have a look at this shoulder injury. And Jack Mune's tackle puts the head down. For all he knows, he's still got the footy. That ball should have been a free kick, 55 from
And it's
goal.
been important for them today. Warning to Carlton. Gibbons has had 15 disposals so far in this game. He's worked back to help defence. He's been really important in their link-up play.
He's a clever player.
Two main ruckmen back at it. Cruiser and Marshall. Dunstan kicks it off the carpet. Gets it to half forward. Simpson, Hyde, picked his pocket. Left foot kick, top of the square. And is that a mark? It is paid. It was the required distance. And big kick for Sinclair here.
Oh, step that one out. You're going to go close.
Yeah, it's a tough one because if the player grabs him, it can be 50, even if the manning player thinks it hasn't gone the required.
Yeah. That's where the understanding of the game comes into play with the umpire.
He's been 50-50 all his career at goal. Jack Sinclair. And that
They had some shockers.
Place, yeah.
That one there, Membry, a few minutes ago as well. The opportunities the Saints have squandered in this quarter.
One thing they are, yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
The one thing they're doing, they're taking marks, even like that from an errant scrap forward. They're taking marks inside forward 50.
Casbolt gets there. Play on. Steele feeds it back. Got it to Billings. Opens it up top of the square. Bruce hands on it. Long. He won't miss. He does miss by much. Wow.
Rushed it a bit.
2-point lead to the Blues. They're hanging on here with 6 minutes left in the third.
Down to 1 now.
1 point lead. Simpson to kick it in from fullback.
Put it on, play on. You.
Brown with the fist. Ross lays the tackle.
That ball, if it gets over the back, see where the umpire is. If it just goes another couple of metres over there, that's where Carlton have launched great movement from.
O'Brien. Fisher. He's turned it over. Although the two Saints looked at each other, didn't know whose ball it was.
Savage knows the error too, Dwayne, that you spoke of. What he did do was stop the ball. It was coming forward with momentum. If he sits back on that, it still keeps coming forward.
Cripps has pushed a full forward for the Blues.
Very good call, Jono. So they can get it to him.
Saints got an extra at the stoppage. Carlton play their extra well behind the footy. So the Saints will have one extra around this stoppage, which is what we heard at half-time, and Nick Newman is the one who drops off.
Cruiser, nice palm down to Lang. Gets 40 metres on it. Got it to half forward. Fisher knocks it down. Hunter Clark, sidestep out of traffic. Delightful. To Dunstan, to Akers. Little 1-2. Back to Akers. And he blasts it to Bruce in a good spot. Casbolt flies with him. Ball hits the deck. Levi got there, but a little late. Loney caught, wrapped up, dumped. No prior.
Once again, Dwayne, without Hunter Clark's agility and calmness with the footy and the ability to sidestep under pressure, that ball stays in congested traffic on the back flank.
Bruce tried to take it out of the air and go. There's Hunter Clark again, the man you spoke of. Back to Steele. Back towards Hunter Clark, but he missed him. Murphy's hands are slick. Got it to O'Brien. McGovern kept his feet on the wing, knocked it down to Walsh. You know he'll think his way through it. He's got that Cripps one-on-one ahead. It's a good one-on-one. You're going to want that one-on-one. He looks the handball over the top instead. Still got it. Still got it. Fisher. He can't get near it. Cripps goes to ground.
He was searching for the free kick.
Yep.
Cripps. It's not out. The ball wasn't out.
Did they stop?
Everyone stopped and walked away. The ball wasn't out of play.
Just shy of the try line.
Yes.
That's bizarre.
Isn't it?
Gee.
Play the whistle, boys.
Like
So
no one whips the bails off
why
it
is he
standing on the line.
why is he balling it up?
We should have just let play go on.
Yeah.
Until someone realised.
That's right.
What if it took 8 minutes? Holding the ball. Advantage play. Saints are out. Long turns around. He's got Bruce and a one-on-one ahead of him. Bruce and Casbolt.
So Bruce has stopped now, which allows Levi to get a fix on the incoming ball. He's got to turn him around.
And he got there.
Yeah. So he turned Levi around in the end, gave a dummy lead, and then Levi, he signalled to the goal scorer. He's just waiting for big Jake Carlisle to get down there.
Not 15, so Ross has to dance his way around. Pops the pass. Was that 15? Yes, it was to Nunes. Just maybe.
Was it out of play?
Oh, yes.
No,
Yeah, it was, but the umpire, the boundary umpire can't see it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the point of the ball, I reckon.
Yeah.
It's still over the line.
So it was called play on, but then the umpire just said, well, I'll ball it up.
You're measuring a first down.
Here, bring out the chains for that. Gee, going back a long way, Jack Nunes.
Yeah,
Beautiful field kick, as you're well aware, Ben.
Saints led by 5 points at quarter time, by 11 points at half time. And they lead again now by 5.
Good goal after a couple of easy misses in this quarter. That was big from Nunes. And Dicko called it, loves momentum, came through the footy really well on follow through with that set shot. Looked confident with it as well.
Have you seen a 13 v 16 clash, which is so entertaining in any time recently?
No, I haven't.
This is a game like who's going to get in the 8.
Yeah.
Well,
It's almost playing for bragging rights for season 2020 for the higher place seeding going into next season.
Saints could finish the home and away season as high as 9th if they win their last 2. And it's been a seesawing battle. I mentioned Saints in front by 5 at quarter time and by 11 at half time. Carlton led by 11 points at one stage, and the Saints have led by 24. That's their biggest margin. 2.5 minutes left from three-quarter time. Murphy goes back to go forward. Curnow got it from Newman. Kicks it into space. Battle, little flick down. Missed Akers. Collected by Silvani. Fisher got his arms free. Manufactured a handball at Cripps. Shook off Steele, the man of Steele. Goes inside to Cruiser, and Cruz kicks it across the face.
Oh, there's nothing better than seeing a running goal by a ruckman. You got to nail those, big Cruz.
Michael Gibbons, you can see just back on the boundary line now. He came off that shoulder. He's got that strapped.
Fisher, the little man, goes up against Akers. He had the reach.
He's a big fella. Blake Akers had a sizable advantage against his 2 opponents in the vicinity.
Pumps it down the line. Membry with that vertical leap goes up. Carlisle tried the bump. Newman bends it around. Got it towards half forward. Slapped back towards the wing. Curnow. Bump by Battle. Enough pressure on the kick. Hunter Clark.
Looks like Jake Carlisle has pushed forward now.
So we know he does it late in games to win games. He's doing it late in the quarter to steal a goal here.
And it's also to keep Levi Casbolt accountable down here.
Akers. Great hands.
Gee, that hurt Newman too. I reckon he got a bit of self-inflicted harm on himself then.
Yes, been smacked twice in this quarter.
Crash test dummy.
Thumps it long. Levi got up high.
That's why Jake's down there. You just can't let him have a run and jump at the ball.
Walsh. He's got Kennedy out wide, puts it in front. Waits for the bounce. Wilkie stalked him. He timed his jump on him to perfection. He waited just for him to collect it and then collected him.
Well, you talk about Gibbons as a mature age recruit for Carlton has been wonderful for them. Callum Wilkie has been everything that St Kilda could have hoped for.
Hanbury had it, missed his shoe. Hind runs through traffic, got a kick away. Clean ball, Carlisle. Dacey Thomas, the goalkeeper. Heads to O'Brien, had to backtrack. 30 seconds left in the third. Thomas, Simpson might take the most of these seconds off the clock. Heads out wide to Cruiser, not a bad option, can't mark it. Cripps crumbs it, doesn't know how long left. Goes long, Mackay gets there, time's going to beat them. He's got Silvani inside 50, he's going to hit him on the siren. Is it going to count?
Oh, yes.
It counts. No mark.
Yeah, that's why I was having a giggle. Because I knew.
Last quarter, Carlton a couple of injury concerns, so hopefully if they can get through that, they've got a full team to run this quarter out. Up to you, Dwayne.
Thanks, Dicko, back in the middle. And this means a lot to these two teams and these two teams' coaches as well. You could sense it from their three-quarter time huddles. They might not be able to make the eight, these two teams, but they are playing for the moment, for their fans right now, just for the joy of having a 2-hour period after the game. They're feeling like you haven't felt all year. And that's the beauty of footy. Cruiser takes it out of the air, kicks it towards Silvani.
Oh, lovely.
Beautiful collect. Gave it to Lang. Pokes it towards Mackay. Takes the grab, but can he kick the goal?
+7 for contested possessions in the third quarter, Carlton. And that reaped them 2 goals 5 to 1 goal 4. So a couple more shots. I dare say if they go +7 contested possessions this quarter, the style of game they play, they'll win this.
For the lead back, Mackay to the near side, never a chance. Lucky to scrape in for a behind.
Thanks, guys. Back one for a minute. Thank you. Play on! You.
Wilkie towards Bruce. Thomas got there in front. Bruce almost raked it from him. Walsh tried to run away with it. Caught. Somehow manufactured a handball. Fisher, was that a handball? To Newman. Bangs it back inside 50. Silvani knocked away. Wilkie bangs it out. Back to Bruce. Front spot.
Hold there. Thanks, Nick. Play on!
Cruiser stalks it. Got up there. Petrescu-Seaton got high as well. Stephen grabbed but not high, and he had his pocket picked. Cripps, Walsh, Cruiser, Curnow under some pressure, smashed it on, got it to Dow. Silvani tried to back away, caught, flicks it out into space. Murphy, bang, gone, dragged down, just got a kick away. Bruce ran himself into trouble. McGovern, goal anyway. Goal will count. Blues in front.
The tap on in the middle of the ground from Curnow to Paddy Dow was the highlight of a passage that included everything to him.
What about Silvani's patience with the ball in hand, didn't panic and gets spun and then sees the outside, bang.
Murphy's thinking check side here once again.
Oh, Brucey was thinking in slow motion about now. Joshy. Another lead change.
Gibbons been on the bench for a while. He might be done for the day, we think.
Contested possession, 4-1, Dwayne. Carlton's favour this quarter already.
Looks like he's going to try and convince them to get him back on. We'll keep an eye on that. Cruiser. He takes it out of the ruck, runs away with it and launches. Mackay can't get the jump at it. Still causes a spill. Savage to Brown to Battle. Wilkie, Dunstan kept it alive. They're taking it on, these two. Hanbury towards the wing. Akers with one paw. Thomas had him.
That's the problem with Carlton's losing Wiedering today. You're asking someone like Daisy Thomas to play third man tall against a Blake Akers at 193 centimetres.
Inside to Ross. He wants a mark target. Bruce is down there, middle of the pack. Simpson knew where to be, right spot, but then he falls and gets it helped over the boundary, although Jack Stephen kept it alive, the umpire said.
It was actually a great play by Jake Carlo with the tunnel ball to keep it in and alive, and Jack obviously couldn't break away with that, but a good half contest.
Rolling the dice here, Jake down there, Jack Stephen and Josh Bruce haven't got a lot of ability to hold it in.
Petreski-Seton gets it away. Good reach by Nunes. He wanted to get going quickly, but the turf didn't help him. Hits the pocket with it. Membry's under it. Big grab at the end from Newman.
Saints are set up well down the line here.
So Mackay's going to have to go at it. Marshall, Brown, both there. Cruiser crumbs it. Got some run back, the Blues. Handball just beyond Kennedy from Dow. It's coming back. Paddy Dow now realises he's won a free.
Matty Cruz is just floating forward. He's already had 4 disposals and he's setting them up, the Blues, at the moment. Marshall needs to try and reel him back in.
And Gibbons is back on. Dow. Picked 3 a couple of years ago. Starting to have big impacts in games. But he has been a little hot and cold this season. Big flyers go up. No mark to Wilkie. Curnow gets it inside. Rolling ball. Kennedy wanted it knocked in his direction. Lang couldn't get it to him. Sinclair. Cripps stands under it. Dow protected him with a push that was illegal.
Had to disguise it better. He did. The notion was right. Had to disguise it.
He didn't even need to make body contact. Paddy Cripps would have marked that.
No, you're right, Dicko, in terms of Loney contesting that ball.
Yep. What you're doing is you're protecting your teammate. You're doing everything you can to protect him.
Superman doesn't have kryptonite on this field.
In the bottom box there.
Yep. Clear free kick.
Cruiser.
Again, having a good run here, the Blues. They need to nail a few while they've got the run of play.
Heads to the pocket. Kennedy got up. Couldn't mark it, though. Cripps. The ball tries to... He got it through to Silvani somehow. Nunes. Thump bound by O'Brien. Savage. Couldn't get it out. DeLuca kept it in. Kennedy around the body. Back to Cripps. 2 with him. Ball falls to Silvani. Dow looks up. Had a look at the goals first. Realised where he was and nails the kick. Magnificent.
Silvani again, Derm. I know you've been pleased with the way he's played his footy today, and most of the year, but just clean below his knees once again to set up the handball release, which then gets out to Paddy Dow in the end, but ball bobbling through straight here, clean again. One touch player, goal to Paddy Dow.
See Brett Ratton there, he'd be saying, boys, can't you take it over right about now? Can't Shane Savage take it over? You experienced enough to disguise that ball to getting taken over. And boundary line throw-ins, they've controlled the clearances from boundary line throw-ins today, the Saints. So he'd have been much, much more comfortable with that. And now they open up a 9-point lead, the Blues.
2 good VFL games for Paddy Dow, who averaged over 20 possessions in those 2 games to get himself back into the team this week. Back into the middle. Umpire recalls it. Still a ton of time left in this.
Dicko, we spoke about it at half-time about Matty Cruz just going forward with his hits. He's been clean in the first couple in his quarter.
He has. That's the spot they love to hit it, and as we can see when Cripps sets up, they all go into that.
Marshall gets one back on Cruiser. Bangs it inside 50 through Membry's hands. Newman's been solid. buffeted from pillar to post in the third, but he's been fantastic to hold his ground, and Lang got there. The late inclusion for Wiedering. Cruiser stands under it. Fisted away. Murphy, he looks up, see what's around. Mackay going the wrong way. It might still work. Silvani's fumbled it. Battle gets back. Caught, flicks it away. Saints dodge a huge bullet. Ross to Marshall. Back out wide. Attacked by Plowman, but he attacked it a bit too hard. Left it behind. Tackle laid by Billings.
He's clever there. Who's that with the ball there? Is that Gibbons? See, he had the one arm pinned, had the ball free with his other arm, and slid to the ground, so he takes away.
They're away here. It's not the top spin, got the best of Jack Silvani.
Curnow back inside 50. Mackay ties up with Brown. Battle, 3 Blues around him. Nunes kept it in. Billings feeds it back. Handball smothered. Sinclair gets a chance. Back to Billings, back to Sinclair, back to Nunes. Everything under pressure from the Saints. Cruiser.
Yep. 6th possession coming up for Cruiser for this quarter.
Their man Mountain has stood up again today. Mackay got there, crashed it to the ground. DeLuca, top of the square. Saints have players back. Little fumble, but it's okay.
Oh, they just don't have the running power at the moment. The Saints are all fatigued, They're all in their haunches after a truckload of work and just trying to defend.
Ross out wide, hoping for Marshall. Will flick to the back. Scrambled towards the wing and turned over. From Loney's boot to Simpson to Walsh. Turns it back over to Loney.
Inside 50s, 9-3 in favour of the Blues. 2 goals to no score. Josh Bruce has got to win this game for St Kilda now. He keeps getting good matchups because of Carlisle going forward.
Bruce attacks it, got it toward the boundary. Stephen tried to keep it alive, and there's a little bit of deja vu in this for Saints fans. The Saints last week in the same situation against Fremantle. They were 2 kicks down. They kicked the last 2 goals of the game in the last 2 minutes to win it. Marshall takes it out of the air, gave to Hanbury. Steele got it from Ross. Gave it to Billings. He goes long. Carlisle! Not quite. Free kick.
So what you got, Dwayne, it's a free kick. What you have now with Wiedering not in the team, putting Carlisle forward, it means that at some stage you have to have either Daisy Thomas or Nick Newman playing on either Josh Bruce or Jake Carlisle. Casbolt tries to get back and make a contest on that occasion.
Fremantle could not kill them off last week, and Carlton haven't killed the Saints off just yet.
Get another look at this. Crowd are not happy with it.
Starts here at the stoppage.
See, there's Newman.
Bruce is in the way there, and Cruiser runs into him. Free kick not paid.
See, that's a handover. Newman has said, you come and take him. I can't. He's too big. So once you turn Levi around, he's culpable for that free kick. It's not hard, it's not nasty. He made contact with him, running with the flight of the ball before the ball arrived.
Matty Cruiser had a big discussion with the umpire post that clearance as well in regards to just the interference for him trying to contest the ball.
This is a huge clearance, this one, knowing that the Saints only went in 4 times this quarter, so they've dominated Carlton.
They sent Bruce into the ruck, and he almost gets the clearance. He got one for too high. He did kind of duck into it, but good drop step. And launches it, but it's a mongrel. Tough one to mark. Thumped away in the end from Long. Stephen lays the tackle. Marshall takes it out.
So this is what we're talking about, Term. So your opinion here on whether this should be a free kick. So Marshall's up in the ruck. Cruiser's there. Bruce, I know he looks at him, so therefore...
That's who nominated. So is he in the road?
Let's play on.
Yeah.
I thought Bruce came back on to Cruiser. He actually sourced him out in that contest.
Cruiser slaps it down in the Walsh direction. He had some poise there, gave to DeLuca, puts the Jets on. Ross half caught him. DeLuca got up quickly. Murphy on the run, spear pass, McGovern.
That's a good kick.
Cripps is at full forward. in his direction. He's got 3 to beat. Cripps won't beat them all. Wilkie thought he held it long enough.
Thought he did as well, Dwayne.
Wow, big call that from the umpire. Hunter Clark spanks it out. Hip his shoulder. Great poise from Ross. Held his ground. Took the contest. Happy for the bruise because he got the sharing.
That was sensational courage from Ross. No talk out here. It was right in front of me, so that was just pure courage.
Dunstan, long. Dunstan. He's got Carlisle over the back again. Marshall looks up. Feeds the handball to Loney. He pokes it top of the square, Bruce. Outstanding ball use.
Just composure.
And he plays on, opens it up to the sharpshooter Membry, and in the blink of an eye, the Saints are in front.
You're looking at the snap there, Jono.
I saw the goal umpire do a lot of work across the face of goal, and I just thought for a second that he'd hooked it too far. Instead of just chipping it over the top for an easy goal.
So Ben Dixon, is that because he missed the last one? The confidence is not there for a drop punt. He's on the run. It's an instinctive goal.
It's a chip from 9 metres. Carlisle did the right thing here by blocking out his direct opponent. It's the easiest of kicks.
That's
why don't make it a bit harder?
Believe it or not, they feel more comfortable snapping the ball like that.
Come on.
But what is that because you're hitting the belly of the ball?
Absolutely, yeah. Obviously, in terms of running it straight on, they just love the snaps.
Let's have a look at the way the fortunes of both these teams have unfolded. Blues early lead, Saints big lead, Peck back, Blues lead, Saints lead, Blues lead, Saints lead.
Back in the middle, Cripps again. Got it to Walsh, pushed on the kick, out wide O'Brien, had to reach.
Hold there. Next, Jack.
Still an enormous amount of time left in this. All the way back to Setterfield.
The fitter team in pre-season wins this, even though it's the second last game of the year.
Oh, you're spot on, Dermot. We're in this stalemate now where work rate is everything.
Yep.
We thought last week the Saints might tire as well, but they didn't, even though they had Carlisle and Stephen and Hanbury, who hardly played any footy last week, the Saints.
Matty Cruz is off the ground at the moment for the Blues. Well-earned rest. Yep. Couple of minutes before coming back on.
But they can't afford to leave him there.
No.
Mackay, good reach. Plays on, he's got Kennedy inside. Membry, he read his mind there.
Bruce has worked hard to the wing.
Good grab.
Now this is what the fitness we've talked about. Bruce is a beast when it comes to competitiveness, and
Daisy Thomas, he did outstanding work to get back and get it across the boundary. He looked at the player and he knew he had to turn back and get the ball. If he just took the player, it was a free.
Josh Bruce's endurance is enormous.
Marshall takes it out of the air, caught. Has he had prior? You're allowed to do that these days.
Yep, the Carlton fans saying go back to the old rules.
Daisy Thomas playing a pivotal role down there. He's playing the loose man in defence, but like we saw in that last contest, putting himself in the right position.
Marshall slaps it down. Jack Stephen, the hero last week, somehow got a handball away. Stephen jumps back in again. Kennedy was in there. Hunter Clark. There's space around it. Stephen pulls it free. Heads Long. Can Long get the jump? Long stayed down in the end of his man. Newman attacked the footy and marked it.
Right there.
Kennedy down the line.
Heads toward Kennedy. Gets up. Can't mark it. Daisy Thomas crumbs it. Looked at Steele. Got it away from him. DeLuca slips though. Slipped into trouble.
That's out in the full. But he dropped the ball then, DeLuca. He was tackled and he stamped the ball on the ground with his hands. But moments.
Hunter Clark. Great smother. DeLuca keeps it in the area. The little things. The little moments, the little pieces of luck.
Look at the score origins throughout today. It's all been in the Blues half of the ground. They score from forward half, and you've got St Kilda scoring from defensive half today, Derm.
Yeah, they've been good from the stoppage, the Saints as well.
Dunstan Long, Membry can't get there. Outstanding stretch from Daisy Thomas. Can they change their mind? He looks like he's got another season left in him, Daisy.
They're going to get a goal here. They'll get a shot at goal. Oh, that's got a hit.
Simpson, of all people to miss a target. Dow kicks it off the deck, but Hanbury waiting in the hole.
Their forwards had worked so hard. They'd outworked St Kilda's backman. That kick hits the target. They're away to the races.
So Nunes to set it up from the wing. Massive crowd in MCG for two teams that can't make finals. And they're watching a classic. Casbolt, Bruce. Ball thumped away from them. Ross the crumb. Walsh the tackle. Umpire with the ball up.
So games inside 10 points. Win-loss ratio this year. The Saints are 4-1. Is that going in their favour, or are they due for a loss?
Ball slapped down to Ross. Got away. Goal square, one-on-one. Carlisle thumped away by Casbolt. He fumbles it. He falls. Ball scooped up to Loney. He bends it around. He's bending it. Last line of defence, Daisy Thomas. Hind comes back. Daisy uses his experience. Heads wide towards Cripps. Pushed by Battle. Got a fist on it.
This is where you can save yourself defensively. If you work hard enough right now and keep it in that half, you'd rather defend 40 metres than 140.
Isn't it brilliant to see those Blues supporters finding voice and just believe?
Mackay in the ruck against Marshall now. Hanbury. Battle. Missed his target. Steele. Cripps could have got a free. Umpire said no. Battle bangs it back. Simpson takes it and goes. They want the lead back. They could take the lead back here and now. Simpson bounces his way down the Staples. Straight down the middle, and he hits his target to Luca.
What a win by Simpson.
Yeah, huge.
That was huge. And then to run away from Loney the way that he did was
You saw the effect
massive.
of Loney's knee injury early in the year, and they're missing so much footy. That's that.
To Loney's defence too, he worked very hard over the
did.
last 7 or 8 minutes of this
He did,
quarter.
but-
Like, ball kept going through him.
That's that endurance where he misses the middle part of the year, and he can't go that extra metre of pace late in the game now.
Josh DeLuca, a mid-season draft pick. 2 premierships at Subiaco, and he makes it his moment. Blues in front.
And it was a smart kick from Simpson as well, because after a long run, trying to get distance, you normally just butcher those ones. So
Here's the moment.
that's
Bang.
the moment here, but then it's the short kick at the end of this play. You look at DeLuca doing his work, running away, keeping an eye on what Simpson was up to.
You see, Kerno's doing the windmill action. So keep going, keep going.
Baseball coach telling him to round third doom. Just keep on running. What a moment for DeLuca. He wasn't even on an AFL list at the start of this year. 4 games for Fremantle, delisted. A couple of seasons in the waffle, a couple of flags, and here he is on the biggest stage in footy.
Has he kicked the winning goal on the MCG?
Plenty of time left in this though, 6 minutes. Dunstan barrels it around the body, centre field. Speaking of big moments. To Kerno.
Great kick, wasn't it?
Cruiser held, and the umpire saw it. Free kick.
Holding Cruiser for a side jumper.
And listen to that round of applause. Bit of umpire love all of a sudden from the Blues fans. Cruiser heads in the Mackay direction. Front spot. Tunnelled. More umpire love.
That's the contested marks that Harry Mackay's taken earlier today has drawn Big Brownie into infringing there.
Hits the top of the square. McGovern's down there. Goes up. Cripps tried for the crumb. Missed it. Slapped toward the boundary. Well, Dunstan was out there. Deliberate. It nearly landed on Dunstan's head.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be from the moment he hit it.
Blues fans might have pulled these umpires off in the end.
Let's not get silly.
Stretching it there.
Yeah.
Gibbons. Speaking of pickups, we're having an outstanding year. And he bends that banana a little too near. Maybe the top of the square was a better option.
Yeah, you're too far out to kick a check side from out there, so just play the percentages.
Most of the, and it sounds weird, it sounds cricketing terminology, but that far out, if you're bending the banana left to right, the last third of the journey, it actually comes back right to left. It gets a reverse swing.
Let me think through the physics of that, Derm, as the ball's kicked towards Plowman. Toward the wing. Simpson got up high, crashed it down. Good attack from Curnow. Wouldn't expect anything else. Scrambled away by Petrovsky-Seton. To half forward. Cripps tried to run and get it. It missed him. Gibbons, Murphy, backed in the Cripps direction. Couldn't collect it. Mackay does. That's bending. How's the physics of that?
What a goal, Jono! What a goal! I think I've just seen goal of the year.
Really?
That is insane.
That's a great goal.
That's a snap from 50 by a man who's 6'7" with 3 steps.
Class
This
of bird,
time of
no
the game.
doubt. Unbelievable goal, Derm. I don't think it's quite goal of the year, but
That's insane. From 49.
it's a huge kick. It's a huge goal.
Oh, mate, it's got to be incredible to beat that.
But he does 5 of those.
50.
Yeah, agree, Dicko.
But it's a snap. It's not a drop punt on the run. It's an around-the-corner snap.
Well,
He's on the paint, Dwayne.
You're allowed to get enthusiastic with the moment, Derm. Absolutely.
What a goal.
Oh, what a goal.
One of the great Carlton moments of the year, but there's still 4 minutes and 30 left. And again, the Saints kicked the last 2 goals of the game last week to steal it.
Look, Blake Acres runs up from full forward. He's going to slide a Saints player back out of this pack.
Marshall tried to get it away. Cripps lays the tackle, holds it in.
So what they're worried about now is Cruz's ability to actually just force the ball forward, and Cripps, 2 big bodies. So Acres comes in to add an extra body in there.
Canterbury held by one arm as he collected the ball. Cruiser in that scramble. It's still inside the centre circle.
There you go. That's Acres standing over. After we look at the coaches, Rats knows they just got to play now.
Brett Ratton coaching to keep the job. 5th game as St Kilda coach. Won 3 of their last 4 coming in. What can he manufacture with 4 minutes left? Hunter Clark. Well, he showed some poise but missed the target. Turned it over to O'Brien. Can they get a knockout blow here? The Blues short to Murphy. Another goal and it might be theirs.
Right hands to be in this ball. He's kicked the ball superbly all day, Mark Murphy.
Times in their favour as well. He pulls it to Cruiser, who leaves it for Harry.
Yeah, Big Nathan Brown, he's just hoping for the long ball, and he's going to try and take the line away from the run and jump line away from Harry Mackay, but he leads up on him. There's space in front, and he loses him in the back of the traffic and gets an unimpeded run on the lead.
For a 15-point margin with 3 minutes left. He's put it. So he gives the ball back to the Saints with 3 minutes left, with the Saints needing 2 goals for the lead.
Big kick, Josh Battle. He'll go straight down the middle.
Marshall and Cruiser. Cruiser with the fist. Marshall was front spot. Ross with the crumb. Floats it to Carlisle. Takes off. Time is of the essence. To Membry. He's got Long in a one-on-one. Long held up, perhaps. Might still get it. Loney, Long. Blues get the cavalry back. No push in the back 3. Ball comes to Plowman. Loops it wide. Simpson had it, lost it, got it back. Little drop step. Daisy, vintage Daisy.
Look at the standing ovation he's getting.
They're on their feet for Daisy sidestep lane.
Unretired Daisy. You're coming back next year for sure. Murphy down the line, heads toward Cruiser. Up they fly, ball to the back to Savage. Hunter Clark. Lang crept up behind him. Came out of the shadows. Brown. Time ticking down to 2 minutes. They did this last week. High bomb. Bruce gets up. Crushed it down. Carlisle. Loney. Can he find a target? Back to Carlisle. Boundary looming between his legs. Handball a little too slick for Akers.
Still alive here, the Saints. This stoppage is massive. They can just manufacture something.
Well, they've been good at the start
Out of this.
scoring from
Carlisle's
stoppage.
going up against Cruiser. Long's at his feet.
Take a quick breath. Ball back into play from the scramble. Blues with numbers back. Carlisle bangs it out. Hunter Clark, good attack. McGovern got it down. Huge spoil that. Hunter Clark was in the range if he marked that. Ball up.
So if the Blues get a quick kick out of this stoppage, they've got to go as close to the boundary line as they possibly can. So Kilda setting up behind the ball for the turnover.
Marshall and Cruiser, they've been at it all day. Murphy couldn't get the kick away far enough. Sinclair traps it, flicks it out. Ross hits a good spot with that kick. They need a mark. Bruce, Plowman clever enough.
Bruce puts his hand up and says, I'll go the ruck contest.
He's been
Or he's
taking
just-
it out of the ruck. lately.
Yeah, no, he's delegated someone else.
Okay, so Marshall and Cruiser. Almost every player around this ball in. Nearly the steal. Scoop out wide. Steele kept it alive, Hanbury. Kick smothered. Back out of play.
Cruz has been massive in this last quarter.
He's been Hercules
The difference.
this last quarter.
10 points the margin. 1 minute and 11 left.
7 possessions for Cruiser in the last quarter. 4 of them contested.
Cruiser knocks it down. Cripps in the traffic. Got it to Simpson. Gets it away. More seconds tick down. We're down to 60 of them. Blues fans can feel it in the air. The improvement for 2020. The Teague train. His 10th game as coach. He's already got 5 wins out of the 9 so far. They've been with their Blues through thick and thin, these fans. And they're about to erupt if they can hold on. Billings back inside 50. Long.
A hold. He's got the leg memory, that's for sure.
So the clock keeps ticking here.
He's got Jake Carlisle down there in a good
Top of the
matchup.
square. Carlisle about to jump. They need a mark. Huge mark. Levi. And that's the game. Levi has the game in the palm of his hands. Heads out wide to Harry. And the Blues will win again. Listen to this crowd. Look at the faces. Down the line, he pumps the kick. Cripps with the fist, knocks it down. Murphy braces for contact. Yeah, it's about winning flags, but it's really about that feeling of walking away from a footy game as a fan with a win, having a great night, loving your day. Where else in the world would you rather be as a Blue fan than watching your team now
Wait for
play
it.
this kind of footy?
Wait for it.
Great vision of Matty Cruiser.
Oh, the dark navy blues. The sea of fans go up as one on that side.